Welcome to this 50-minute Ashtanga yoga challenge in which we will explore shoulder stand variations I bet you did not know yet. My name is Helen Bloom and Ashtanga yoga helped me to build strength and feel confident in my body. You must know at first, also for me, it was really challenging. I was never a sporty person. I never went to the gym. When I started Ashtanga yoga, I was struggling to do a push-up on my knees, but with time, dedication and practice, you will also be able to build strength. And I want to remind you to not be too hard on yourself, give your best and try it out, and then really stay until the end to soak up all the benefits from the shoulder stand sequence. So it has a really cooling and calming effect on the nervous system. And don't forget to subscribe. See you at the front of a mat in a minute. We start at the beginning of our mat in a standing position with the feet together in Samastitihi. Your legs are really strong and I want you to lift up through your heart. Let your arms hang heavily and relaxed. Close your eyes for a moment. Then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Take a moment to arrive here. Connect yourself to your breath. I want you to breathe in and out through the nose for the entire class. If you're familiar with Ujjayi, start breathing your Ujjayi breath now. And then set your intention for today's class. Why did you step onto your mat today? Lower your arms and let's begin with 5 Surya Namaskara A, Sun Salutation A. Ekam inhale, raise your arms, Urdhva Hastasana. Dve, exhale, forward fold into Uttanasana. Trini, inhale, head up, straight back. Chatvari, exhale, step back into plank and then lower yourself down into Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, upward facing dog. Shat, exhale, downward facing dog. I want you to stay for 5 breaths. Focus is on a straight spine. If you want, you can bend your knees. Make sure your index fingers are parallel or turned outward a little bit. And then really focus on your breath. Focus on how this posture feels for you today. Then one more inhale and exhale here. And Sapta, inhale, step or jump to the front of your mat, halfway lift. Ashta, exhale, fold forward. Nava, inhale, lift up, hands up, Urdhva Hastasana. Samastitihi, lower your arms. And again, Ekam, inhale, hands up. Dve, exhale, forward fold. Trini, inhale, head up, straight spine. Chatvari, exhale, step or jump back into plank, then lower into Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, upward facing dog. Shat, exhale, downward facing dog. We stay for 5 breaths. Always feel free to modify and rest in child's pose. Then make sure you relax your head in Adho Mukha Svanasana. And we're going to stay for 1 more breath. Sapta, inhale, step or jump to the front of your mat. Ashta, exhale, forward fold. Nava, inhale, hands up. Exhale, Samastiti. Ekam, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Dve, exhale, Uttanasana. Trini, inhale, head up. Chatvari, exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Shut, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Staying for 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sapta, inhale, step or jump to the front of your mat, halfway lift. Ashta, exhale, forward fold. Nava, inhale, hands up. Exhale, Samastiti. And again. Ekam, inhale, Urdhvastasana. Dve, exhale, Uttanasana. Trini, inhale, head up. Chatvari, exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Shut, exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We stay for 5 breaths. 1. Really focus on your Ujjayi breath. 2. 3. Make sure your lower abdomen is active. 4. And 5. Sapta, inhale, step or jump to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Ashta, exhale, forward fold. Nava, inhale, raise your hands, Urdhvastasana. Samastiti. Last one. Ekam, inhale, hands up. Dve, exhale, forward fold. Trini, inhale, lift up halfway. Chatvari, exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, upward facing dog. Shut, exhale, downward facing dog. We're staying for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Sapta, inhale, jump into halfway lift. Ashta, exhale, forward fold. Nava, inhale, hands up. Exhale, Samastiti. We continue with Surya Namaskara B, Sun Salutation B. Ekam, inhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, hands up. Dve, exhale, forward fold. Trini, inhale, lift up halfway. Chatvari, exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, upward facing dog. Shut, exhale, downward facing dog. Sapta, inhale, take your right leg forward into Warrior 1, Virabhadrasana. Ashta, exhale, hands down, step back, Chaturanga. Nava, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Dasha, exhale, downward facing dog. Ekadesha, on an inhale, take your left leg forward into Virabhadrasana, Warrior 1. Dvadesha, step back, Chaturanga. Trayodesha, inhale, upward facing dog. Chaturdesha, exhale, downward facing dog. Gonna stay for 5 breaths. See how long it takes to catch your breath. If you need to, focus on a prolonged exhalation. 3, 4, 5. Panchadesha, inhale, jump to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Shodesha, exhale, forward fold. Saptadesha, inhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, hands up. Samastiti on an exhale. And again, Ekam, inhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, hands up. Dve, exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Trini, inhale, head up. Chatvari, exhale, step or jump back, Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Shut, exhale, downward facing dog. Sapta, inhale, take your right leg forward into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana. Ashta, exhale, Chaturanga. Nava, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Disha, exhale, downward facing dog. Ekadesha, inhale, left leg forward into Warrior One, Virabhadrasana, lift your arms. Dvadesha, step back, Chaturanga. Trayodesha, inhale, upward facing dog. Chaturdesha, exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna stay for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Panchadesha, inhale, jump to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Shodesha, exhale, forward fold. Saptadesha, inhale, Utkatasana, straighten your arms completely. Exhale, Samastitihi. Last one. Ekam, inhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, hands up. Dve, exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Trini, inhale, head up. Chatvari, exhale, jump back into Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. Shat, exhale, downward facing dog. Sapta, inhale, take your right leg forward, Warrior One. Ashta, exhale, step back into Chaturanga. Nava, inhale, upward facing dog. Desha, exhale, downward facing dog. Ekadesha, inhale, left leg forward, hands up, Warrior One. Dvedesha, exhale, step or jump back into Chaturanga. Trayodesha, inhale, upward facing dog. Chaturdesha, exhale, downward facing dog. Gonna stay for 5 breaths. If it's too much, rest in child's pose. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Panchadesha, inhale, jump to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Shodesha, exhale, forward fold. Saptadesha, inhale, Utkatasana, bend your knees, lift your hands, straighten arms completely. Exhale, Samastiti. Whew, that was tough. Sun salutations are over. For Palangustasana, spread your legs hip wide. On Ekam, inhale, catch your toes, look up. Dve, exhale, fold forward. We're gonna stay for 5 breaths. Your feet are pressing into your hands and your hands are pulling your feet. Make sure your legs are strong and relax your upper body. 4 and 5. Trini, inhale, head up, straighten your arms. Exhale here. Ekam, inhale, step onto your hands, hands under feet. Dve, exhale, Padastasana, fold forward. Again, we're gonna stay for 5 breaths. Make sure your lower belly is engaged, but try relaxing your shoulders, relax your neck, gaze onto your nose. 2, 3, 4, 5. Trini, inhale, head up, exhale. On your next inhale, hands to your waist, come up, and then close your feet. Ekam, inhale, step your right foot to the right, one leg length apart, and then we exhale, turn your feet to the short side, to the back of the mat, and go down. Option 1, right hand on your shin. Option 2, grab your big toes and then open your torso to the left and reach your left arm towards the ceiling. Make sure your lower abdomen is activated and press firmly into the outward edge of the left foot. And try taking your left hip back a little bit so that your hip is in one line with your torso. Make sure your feet are really strong in this asana. Gonna stay for one more breath. On an exhale, look down. And then Trini, inhale, come up to center. Chatvari, exhale, turn your feet to the front of the mat and then go down, left hand either onto the shin or grab your big toes and then open your torso to the right, reach your right arm to the ceiling, activate your lower abdominal muscles and press firmly into the outward edge of the left foot. Your feet are really strong. Try taking the left hip back a little bit, and if you have your toe into your hand, then really pull with your left arm up so you have an upward lifting motion. One more breath here. On an exhale, look down on your foot and then pancha, inhale, come up, turn your feet to the back of the mat again for Utthita Trikonasana B. Now make sure your hips are level to the short side of the mat and then reach your left arm onto your right shin or onto the outward edge of your foot if you're flexible, and then open yourself, your torso to the right for the twisted triangle pose. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. Make sure your legs are really strong. Your right hip pulls back, left hip pushes forward, and then really press into the left hand and open yourself. Reach your right arm up towards the sky and make sure your lower belly is really active. We always want to start twisting from the belly. Then we're going to stay for one more breath here. On an exhale, look down, Trini, inhale, come up, and Chatvari, exhale, turn yourself to the front side of the mat, level your hips. And then for Utthita Trikonasana B, place your right arm, option 1 on your shin, option 2 on your foot, or on the outside edge of your left foot, and then open yourself to the left. Really press into that right hand. This time left hip pulls back, right hip forward. Strong legs, strong core. Gonna stay for 2 more breaths. 4 and 5. Pancha, inhale, come up. And then step to the front of the mat into Samastiti. For Parshvakonasana A, Ekam, inhale, make your biggest step to the right side. Dve, exhale, turn your right foot out and then bend the right leg 90 degrees. Option 1, place your right forearm on your right knee. Option 2, place your hands or fingertips on the outside of the right foot. And then we're going to stay for 5 breaths. Make sure you straighten your left arm, and from your left leg to the left arm there's one straight line. You really want to press into the outward edge of the left foot, and you want to open your heart a little more. If you can, gaze towards your left fingertips. Gonna stay for 2 more breaths. 4 and 5. On an exhale, look to your right foot. Trini, inhale, come up to center. Chatvari, exhale, turn your right foot in, turn your left foot to the left, and for Parshvakonasana on the left side, bend your leg 90 degrees, Option 1, place your forearm onto the right knee. Option 2, place your hands on the outside of the left foot and then swing your right arm to the front of the mat. Press more into the right outside edge of your foot. We're gonna stay for 5 breaths. Make sure to pull the upper shoulder a little bit back and down. And if your neck is okay, look towards the right fingertips. 3, 4, and 5. On an exhale, look to your left foot. And on an inhale, come up to center and turn to the backside of the mat for Utthita Parshva Konasana B. Exhale, level your hips to the short side of the mat, left knee down to the floor, and then join your palms in front of the heart. On an inhale, suck the lower belly in, lift your heart, but think of rounding the lower back and then twist from the center of your abdomen to the right. Left elbow to the right side of the knee. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, if it feels easy for you, straighten your left leg. Try to lowering the left heel down to the floor. If this is still easy, try to place the left hand onto the floor and reach your right arm to the front of the mat. Then stay with me for 5 breaths. 1. Here it's really important to stay connected to your abdomen. 2. Try to breathe slow and steady. 3. Keep your gaze focused. 4 and 5. On an exhale, look down to your right foot. On a Trini inhale, come up back through center. Chatvari, exhale, turn to the front of your mat, level your hips, right knee down, join the palms in front of your heart, and suck your lower belly in. Think of rounding the lower back, and then twist to the left, right elbow to the left side of the knee. Option 1, hold here, really press your palms together. Option 2, straighten the right leg. Right heel down. If this is still easy, place the right hand onto the floor. Remember, it's your practice. This variation is really advanced. If your right arm is on the floor, pull your left arm to the front of the mat. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. 1. Stay connected to your center. 2. Steady breathing. 3, 4, and 5. On an exhale, gaze to your left foot. Pancha, inhale, come up. And come to the front of the mat for Samastitihi. For the next posture, Prasarita Padottanasana, straddle forward, fold. Ekam, inhale, make a big step to the right side. Catch your waist. Now check that your feet are parallel. Your toes want to point a little bit inward, but never outwards. It's really important. On an inhale, look up. Dwe, exhale. Hands to the floor. Lift up halfway. Trini. Inhale, head up. And on exhale, come into the pose. Prasarita Padottanasana A. If you can, walk your hands back in between your body. And then relax your shoulders and breathe. Your legs are really strong in this asana. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chatvari, inhale, hands to your waist. Exhale here. And on your next inhale, Pancha, come up. Then Ekam, inhale, straighten your arms. Dwe, exhale, hands to your waist. Inhale, head up. And then Trini, exhale for Prasarita Padottanasana B. Your hands stay on your waist. 1. Make sure your legs are strong. Energetically, your feet are pulling together. 2. Suck your lower belly in. 3. Relax your shoulders. 4. Shift your weight a little bit more forward. 5. Chatvari, inhale. Come straight up. For our next variation, Ekam, inhale, straighten your arms. Twi, exhale, interlace your fingers in the back. Trini, inhale, pull your fist down. And then Dwi, exhale, come straight into Prasarita Padottanasana C. Your interlaced fingers are pulling back. And you really want to deepen the twist. Open your shoulders. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chatvari, inhale. Come straight up to standing for last variation. Prasarita Padottanasana D. Ekam, inhale, straighten your arms. Twi, exhale, grab your big toes. Inhale, lift your head. And Trini, exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana D. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. Make sure your elbows are drawing outwards. Your hands are pulling on your toes are pushing into the hands. Shift your weight a little bit more forward. Strong legs. 3, 4, and 5. Chatvari, inhale, lift your head. Exhale here. Pancha, inhale, come up. And on an exhale, step to the front of the mat into Samastiti. Last standing posture for today is Parshvottanasana. Option 1, grab your elbows behind your back. Option 2, put your hands in reversed prayer. And then Ekam, inhale, make a big step to the back of your mat. Level your hips, right hip pulls back, left hip pushes forward. And on Dwe, exhale, fold forward, twist over the right leg and stay for 5 breaths here. 1, make sure you shift a little bit more of the weight into the back leg. 2, make sure your legs are really strong, straighten the right leg completely. 3, stick your lower belly in. 4, and 5. Trini, inhale, come up and come straight to the other side. Chatvari, exhale, suck your lower belly in, twist a little bit to the left and then fold forward. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. Left hip pulls back, right hip pushes forward. 1, suck your lower belly in. 2, make sure your palms are really pressing onto each other. 3, if you can and it's easy for you, lift your elbows a little bit. 4, 5, and then Pancha, inhale, come back through center. On an exhale, step into Samastiti. Vinyasa. Ekam, inhale, lift your arms. Dwe, exhale, Uttanasana. Trini, inhale, lift up halfway. Chatvari, exhale, step or jump back. Pancha, inhale, upward facing dog. Shat, exhale, downward facing dog. Sapta, inhale, jump through or cross your legs, mind your knees, be really mindful here doing this. And then straighten your legs for Dandasana. Place your hands to the right and left of your hip, lift your heart, and then lower your gaze. We're going to stay for 5 deep breaths. 1, suck in your lower belly and draw the breath from the hips towards the crown of your head. 2, you don't want to round your back here, but you want to think of lifting the heart. 3, your shoulder blades reach down and back, 4, and 5. Ashta, inhale, catch your toes, head up. Nava, exhale, Paschimottanasana. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. Make sure after every inhale and exhale you suck in your lower belly and that you pull yourself down a little bit more. At the same time, your shoulders want to be active and reach back and down. Gonna stay for 5 deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Dasha, inhale, head up. Lock your hands. Nava, exhale, Paschimottanasana. 5 more breaths. 1, 2. If this posture is difficult, focus on a deep exhalation. 3. Engage your leg muscles. This is an active stretch. 4 and 5. Dasha, inhale, head up. Exhale here. And then Ekadasha, cross your shins and try lifting up. Dvedasha, exhale, step or jump back, mindful of your knees. Triodesha, inhale, upward facing dog. Chaturasha, exhale, downward facing dog. Sapta, inhale, jump through, and then sit down. Exhale, take your hands 1 foot back from your hips, and for Purvottanasana, lift your hips up. We're gonna stay for 5 breaths. 1. Make sure your soles of the feet are grounded. 2. If your fingertips are pointing outward, it's a little bit more easy on your shoulders. 3. Lift your hips up higher. 4. I know it's challenging, but stay with me. 5. Nava, exhale, release, come back to Dandasana. Dasha, inhale, cross your shins, lift up. Ekadasha, exhale, jump back, Chaturanga. Dvedasha, inhale, upward facing dog. Triodasha, exhale, downward facing dog. Sapta, inhale, jump through. Ashta, exhale, come into a lying position. We're going to start straight with the finishing sequence. So the first one will be bridge pose. Place your feet hip width distance apart in front of your hips and then lower your hands to the floor. Nava, inhale, roll your hip up vertebra by vertebra and come into a bridge pose. If you want, interlace your fingers below your back and roll your shoulder blades together a little bit and then really press into your hands and reach yourself up. Reach the heart up and especially push the hips up. At the same time, so you don't want to lose the foundation of your feet, so really press into all the 3 corners of your feet, into the heel, big toe and small toe. We're gonna stay for 5 breaths. 1, 2, push your hips a little higher. 3, 4, and 5. Dasha, exhale, roll yourself down vertebra by vertebra. And then if you want to come into full wheel position, place your hands next to your ears. If you don't want to do wheel pose, you can come back to the bridge pose. Remember, it's your practice. And then Nava, inhale. Lift yourself up, hips up. Maybe you want to put your weight onto your crown first and then straighten your arms, lift up. We're going to stay for 5 breaths in Urdhva Dhanurasana. 1, 2, make sure your shoulder blades are pushing down and together. 3, really press into the big toes and your knees want to pull together energetically so you can activate inside of your thighs. 4 and 5. Now on Dasha, exhale, come down with your head, and if you want, you can shorten the distance from your hand to your feet. Ekadasha, inhale, lift up again into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Gonna stay for another 5 breaths. 1. Try straightening your arms completely. 2. Really press into your feet, really strong feet here. 3, 4, 5. Dasha, exhale. Lower your head, and for a 3rd round, maybe shorten the distance even more. Nava, inhale, lift yourself up into Urdhva Dhanurasana, 3rd round. 1. Try staying with me. 2. It's almost over. 3, 4, and 5. Lower yourself down to the mat. And then pull your knees in. Catch your breath. Then come back to a seated position. Sapta, inhale. Straighten your legs. Exhale here, and then Ashtanga, inhale. Lock your hands between your feet. We want to go into the deepest variation of your forward fold. Nava, inhale. Look up. Exhale. Paschimottanasana. We're going to stay for 10 breaths. Suck in your lower belly. 1, 2, 3. You can now really think of rounding the upper back. 4. On an inhale, lift your heart. Come a little bit deeper in the pose. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Dasha, inhale, look up. Ekadasha, cross your shins, lift up. Dwadasha, exhale, step or jump back into Chaturanga. Trayodasha, inhale, upward facing dog. Chaturdasha, exhale, downward facing dog. Sapta, inhale, jump through. Exhale, lie down. If you don't know shoulder stand, watch me first and then go back in the video. Never turn your head in the position. If you have any sharp pain, back off immediately. Prepare for a shoulder stand by pressing your hands down into the mat, then bend your knees and lift your hips while your hands keep pressing down. Place your hands onto your lower back for support. Straighten your legs and stay with me for 10 breaths. Your elbows should not be wider than your shoulders, so you can just think of pulling the elbows in and then really pressing into your shoulders, lifting your hips and sucking the lower belly in. Your thighs and feet are together and the feet are reaching towards the sky. You should not feel any pain in your neck in this position. Please be really mindful here and respect the limits of your body. This is your practice and it should make you feel nice. Of course, it can be uncomfortable because it's exhausting, but you should not suffer from pain while doing shoulder stands. If you're not familiar with plow pose, please come to a seat and watch me demoing it first. If you're familiar, you can interlace your hands behind your back, reaching those hands far back. Elbows pull towards each other, and then for Halasana plow pose, on an exhale, lower your legs behind your head. Make sure you're still pressing into your arms. And then you want to reach your toes towards your head with your legs straightened so you can really lift up your hips so that your spine can straighten a little bit more. We're going to stay for 10 breaths. 3, 4, make sure that your legs are closed here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For Karnapidasana ear pressure pose, try bending your knees and closing your ears with them. And then we're going to stay here for another 8 breaths. Make sure your feet are together. 1. If your knees are not reaching your ears, don't worry. 2, 3, 4, 5. Focus on deep breathing. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. On an inhale, come back to shoulder stand. And now I want to include a hip opener, which will later on prepare our body for lotus pose. So if you think of reclined pigeon, you bend your right leg and place your ankle below the left knee, and then you want to really press your right knee away. Stay active. We're going to stay for 5 more breaths. 1. Really think of opening that hip. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now release your legs and change position for a reclined pigeon and shoulder stand from the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, straighten your legs. Last time, shoulder stand. On an exhale, lower yourself down to the mat, vertebra by vertebra, really slowly. Release. Now here we want to go straight into fish pose, which is a counter pose for shoulder stands. You should always do it. Therefore, place your hands below your hips and then really shrug your shoulder blades together. Straighten your arms and press into your elbows so that you come into kind of a back bend. Your head lifts up, your heart pulls towards the sky, and then lower the crown of your head onto the mat. We're going to stay for 10 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Release. On an inhale, come back up to a seated position. And we're going to flow through one last vinyasa. Dvadesha, cross your shins, lift up. Triyodesha, exhale, jump back into Chaturanga. Chaturanga, inhale, upward facing dog. Panchadesha, exhale, downward facing dog. From here, Sapta, inhale, jump through. Now, if you're used to lotus position, you can come into lotus, right leg first. If not, you can cross your shins together with me and then Grab your elbows behind your back. On an inhale, lift your heart. On an exhale, forward fold. Gonna stay for 10 breaths in Yoga Mudra. Your chin wants to reach towards the crown. 1, make sure inhale and exhale are the same length now. 2, you can visualize breathing from the hip towards the crown of your head. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dasha, inhale, come up. Exhale, place your hands into Chin Mudra. The tips of index finger and thumb are joined. And then place your hand onto your knees and stay with me for 10 more breaths. 1, 2, really visualize breathing from the hip towards the ground. 3, don't lose your bandhas, pull the lower belly in. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. For this last little challenge, Ut Plut Hihi, you can place your hands on blocks or on the ground and then Dasha, inhale, cross your shins and really lean forward and then push yourself up. Try lifting your feet. Stay with me for 10 breaths. You really need to reach your hips back and up and your chest forward, otherwise you will not be able to lift up. If you cannot lift your feet, don't worry, lean forward and only lift your hips. This is really challenging, I know. Once you can access lotus position, this will be a lot more easy. I'm also struggling lifting my feet off, but try staying with me. Only like this you can build strength. Keep going and come down. And then cross your shins for the last vinyasa, I promise. Ekadasha, inhale, lift yourself up. Dvadasha, exhale, jump back into Chaturanga. Triodasha, inhale, upward facing dog. Chaturdasha, exhale, downward facing dog. Panchadasha, inhale, jump to the front of the mat, head up. Shodasha, exhale, forward fold. Saptadasha, inhale, come up. Place your hands in prayer. Take a moment to notice the residue of the practice, the seed you plant by stepping onto the mat every day. Now thank yourself for having stepped onto the mat today. And we're gonna flow through a vinyasa to come to lying position. Ekam, inhale, lift your arms. Dwe, exhale, forward fold. Trini, inhale, lift up. Chatvari, exhale, jump back, Chaturanga. Pancha, inhale, upward facing. Shat, exhale, downward facing. Sapta, inhale, jump through. Turn yourself around and make yourself comfortable for your Shavasana. If you feel a strain in your lower back, you might want to place blocks underneath your knees. Then close your eyes. Palms are facing upward. And make sure you stay with me. It is so important to take Shavasana so our body can tune into this feeling of inner peace, relaxation, and so that our muscles, our muscle memory can also soak up the benefits of Ashtanga yoga, of this holistic practice. We're gonna stay for 1 more minute. Now slowly move your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Take a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, come into a cross-legged position. Leave your eyes closed. Join your palms in front of your heart. And then I want you to lift your thumbs to the point between your eyebrows for clear thoughts. To your mouth for always speaking the truth. And to your heart. May your heart be pure and guide you through this journey called life. And I want to remind you that you can be really proud of yourself for having done this really challenging Ashtanga yoga flow with shoulder stand variations. And let me know how it went and if you already knew those shoulder stand sequences we were flowing through. I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to practice with you in person on one of my retreats. If you have any questions concerning the practice, please let me know. I wish you a wonderful day and hopefully see you soon on the mat. Bye bye.